Well, this whole Zoom thing is new to me, but for the athletic directors in the Big Nine, sounds like they've been doing a lot of this. Jim Beeson joins us now, athletic director for Wenatchee High School. Jim, first of all, how are you hanging in with all of this craziness?
It's just literally one day at a time, and every day something's changing. It's kind of like our typical job, except for you're dealing with the craziness of the COVID-19. But every day something's changing, and you adjust and move forward and try to figure out what we're going to do next and what our next step is going to be, hoping that something good's going to happen someplace.
What's the message that you were able to send out to your athletes, especially these spring sport athletes that just had their whole season wiped out? I mean, how do you even say something to them that's going to make them feel any better about what's going on?
You know, I don't know if there's anything you can say to make them feel better, but the reality of it is this is affecting everybody across the country and the nation, and so we're all in this together. And the reality of it is it could be a heck of a lot worse. It could be like Carl Anthony Towns and his mom contracts COVID-19 and dies from it. So putting it all, trying to get them to put it into perspective that this is maybe a little bit bigger than just spring sports. It's a lot bigger than it's life and death in a lot of cases. So we just got to do what's best for everybody and move on and find the good in every bad.
Well, Jim, with the spring sport closure and things like that, what are you guys doing? I know there's this Be the Light campaign, that type of thing. Are you guys doing something similar to try to honor those senior athletes specifically?
We're taking part in the Be the Light thing every Friday night. We're turning the lights on for 20 minutes. We're honoring each team, kind of like Eastmont is. Every week we're doing a different team, and our booster club is putting that out in Facebook and other avenues that they're putting out. Like this week I think is soccer that they put out there. And we're not doing anything specifically at the stadium in terms of, we had talked about trying to announce the kids or do whatever, but there's really no road necessarily that drives right by the Apple Bowl. It's difficult to do, and we don't want people stopping and gathering. It defeats the purpose. And so it's little, but that's what it is. The Booster Club is trying to work with the city to hang banners as opposed to apple blossom banners, maybe printing banners up front and back with seniors on them and hang those, making up yard signs, trying to work with you guys and do a senior night deal and do a signing night deal. It's never going to replace their senior season and the ability to go out and compete. There's nothing that you can do that can replace that, but just trying to make them feel a little bit more, the understanding that everybody's trying to think about them and trying to do something positive for them. But in the end, nothing's going to replace going out and playing games. Anybody that was an athlete knows that, and it's that competitiveness in you that makes you a good athlete. And whether you're playing in front of nobody or 200,000 people, it doesn't matter. It's just you want to go out and play.
Jim, speaking of the Booster Club and that signing ceremony, I know that's a rite of passage in the springtime that we have been down to be able to cover the last couple of years. What are you hearing on what they're going to try to do there as far as that goes?
Well, what we're going to try to do, and hopefully this works with you guys, is we're going to try to get the kids, come up with a little bit of a script for each kid in terms of questions, and then have them record themselves or someone record them doing the script and what they're doing, where they're going, all that kind of stuff, and then trying to get that information to you so that you guys can put it together and put it out there in whatever capacity that you can. And then we'll push it out on all of our Twitter. The ASB kids have Twitter accounts and things like that, and trying to just get it out there and be seen as much as possible.
Well, that's, like you said, it's nothing that's going to replace what normally is happening, but normal's kind of out the window at this point. With the closure of school and everything, I know we see that you're in your office, but it's a rare exception, not the rule, that anybody's in the school right now. Have you been able to get to some things that you normally wouldn't have had the chance to do facility-wise?
Yeah, there's a lot of, that's some of the good out of the bad is we've taken everything out of our weight room, and we're deep cleaning it, getting good and thorough cleaning in it. We've got the bleachers pulled out, and we're giving them a good scrubbing and cleaning, disinfecting, and getting things done. And a lot of that stuff because we're so busy during the summertime, doesn't get done, and we're busy doing other things. And so we'll be down at the Apple Bowl next week, and just making sure all the leaves are cleaned up and everything's taken care of the way it should be, just like if we were going to play the next day, and get everything nice and clean, and the locker rooms and the team rooms and everything real disinfected and clean. So a lot of that kind of stuff, basic maintenance. We're taking our sports med room and the classroom next to it, and they took down the wall and doubling the size of our sports med room, and they're working on that right now. So, but it really is a ghost town when you walk down the hallways and you're the only one here. And I've been in the locker rooms cleaning out the PE lockers and doing things like that I don't normally do until the end of the school year. So it's very different and unique, but it's that way for everybody.
We talk so much about the experience for the kids, and especially the seniors, that we're hoping to have some sort of graduation ceremony, and we'll get more information when that becomes available. But we don't talk so much about the teachers. I mean, you guys got into the business of teaching to be around kids, and that's got to be a weird feeling as well.
Yeah, it's the good thing for me is that we took our pictures with Parsons right before the break. And so now I have all of our pictures. They're on Leanne's desk, and I have all of our spirit packs and everything like that. So I've emailed everybody, and they're coming in. It's like keeping our 6 foot, trying to get them here around lunchtime, and they can get a free lunch, but at least getting an opportunity to see the kids and communicate with the kids. But that's the hardest part about it is not being able to see the kids and on a daily basis. That's what you get into education for, and it keeps you young at heart and keeps you wanting to do what you're doing, is hanging around young kids. And unfortunately, that's not what we're doing right now.
Well, past the spring sports season, some of the sports for the fall coaches get a chance to get around the kids. There's spring football, that type of thing. What's the plan of attack, or is there a plan of attack for this year?
Right now, there's no right now we're staying status quo, that we haven't canceled anything for the summertime. We're done through June 19th. That's kind of the date the governor put out there. And beyond that, everybody's kind of waiting to see and somebody else make the decision for them. Our school administration is waiting to see if the WIA comes out and says there's going to be no summer activities to put everybody on the same field. The WIA is saying, well, that's summertime activities are sponsored by local school districts. It's kind of up to them. Ultimately, I think it's going to come down to the governor and OSPI that says you're not doing anything during the summer, and and it's my guess is that's where we're going to be at. But let's be eternal optimists and hope not so. But on the other hand, we also need to make sure that we don't start getting this going down the right direction and then get everybody back together and turn around and have a huge spike in cases and be right back where we are in probably a worse situation.
Right. Jim, as far as that's concerned, and there's way more question marks than there are answers at this point, but moving ahead, as you look towards the fall, do you prepare for your concern, athletics as normal? You get back in mid-August and start practicing and get ready for the school year?
We're preparing as we are going to. I've emailed our coaches and told them to make sure they're ordering stuff that they need and get it ordered soon, so that, because if we wait until the last minute and everybody's ordering, we may not get our orders as fast as we can. So we're preparing like we're going to be here. And then if we're not, then at least we're ready and we'll move forward to the winter. And hopefully that starts. So, but hopefully we get some kind of fall sports activities, and the countryside's not burning up as well. So we don't mix COVID-19 with summer fires.
Yeah, we got by pretty lucky last year with that. Jim, budgetarily speaking, I imagine that there was a ton of savings, if you will, that went on because you didn't have the spring sports season, specifically in transportation. Does that benefit you in any way as you go down the road, or does it matter?
In some ways, I had a conversation with our finance director yesterday about there's some things like getting new gym chairs for the gym and stuff like that because we aren't spending money on some things, there's a lot of money being saved, and we might be able to catch up on some of those things that we've been keep putting off because we don't have any money available to do it. And so with this, it may help us be able to buy some items that we hadn't necessarily been buying. Like buying extra sets of headgear for wrestling, for protective gear, buying some new batting helmets for baseball and softball, buying a new set of catcher's gear. Not frivolous things, more safety equipment, but stuff that we necessarily wouldn't be able to buy at this point in time that we might be able to buy.
Jim, what's your message for the Wenatchee School District to high school kids that might be watching this? Just giving you that opportunity, if you haven't had a chance to touch base with everybody, what's your message for them?
I would say just be safe and take it serious. I mean, everybody's been complaining about the younger kids in our country that haven't been taking it serious. And my youngest is just as guilty as any of the rest of them, because they don't feel it affects them. But the sooner we all take this serious and get after it and do our part, the sooner we're going to get through it and we're going to get back to normal. So just keep your head up and keep working hard and figuring out things to do, but try to practice social distancing and help us all get through this.
Well, sounds good, Jim. Stay healthy yourself, along with the staff and family. And here's hoping we get back to normal again so we can just start talking about sports.
Very much so. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Jim.